Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. It's me again, Chelsea, and today I'm going to be reacting to the Goodreads Challenge books for 2024. I literally look like a mess. I've got my lovely Halloween soft fluffy thing on. I've literally just seen it come up on my Goodreads that the books have been announced. So we're here, we're sitting down, I am comfy, I have quickly set up my lights and everything else, so hopefully I have charge for this. But I have yet to see the books that have been announced. So we're gonna take a look together and we're gonna vote. We might as well vote now. Can I do a screen recording? Let's figure that out quickly, and then I can actually show you what I'm seeing. Oh, I can. So I have now figured out how to do my screen recording. Let's get started. So we're gonna look at the opening rounds, and we have got some nominees already coming up that are on my shelf. I've got Defiant and The Darkness Within Us. So let's just vote in the opening round. Let us see what is going on, because I have no idea. I'm going to shuffle a little bit and hopefully I can put the screen recording here. Now, fiction is an iffy thing for me. I read fiction all the time, but these categories, not so much. So I will skip where I have not read any books. We're just going to do that because otherwise I don't really think it's fair. So I have heard of none of these books so far at all. Anything on here that I have heard of? I've heard of Intermezzo by Sally Rooney. That has been massive recently, but I have not read it, so I can't vote for that. Yeah, so it looks like none of these books I have actually read, which is not a shocker. But also, I don't feel as though I've heard an awful lot about these different books. So that's also interesting to me. But let's carry on and see if I know of anything in the historical fiction. Again, not really something that I read, and again, I'm not really seeing much that I recognise. I don't really run in these circles. I'm not too sure at all. Oh, Jodie Pico even, I've been saying it wrong for years, as of many people, by any other name. I have not read it, but at least I recognise an author and I recognise a book, I suppose. But again, nothing there screams to me. Mystery thriller. Maybe I'll have heard of some of these. Again, I haven't really read a lot. This isn't really probably the best year for me to ever do this for the first time, because I haven't really been on my reading game. I haven't. And if you're like me and you've kind of slumped hard this year, welcome, join the club, because I have also done this. Lucy Foley, The Midnight Feast, I have heard of, I have seen, I have been interested in trying, haven't read it though. Richard Osman, We Solve Murders, I saw that in the shop actually the other day. I was interested in it, actually, which is saying something, because I don't really read historical books, but still interesting. Okay, anything else that I recognise? Oh yeah, the last one for the wedding, Jason Rekulak, I've seen that cover. But again, we're not seeing anything here that I've actually read. So let's just move on to romance, which I can pretty much guarantee I have not read anything of. The Cinnamon Bun Bookstore I have seen. I've seen the cover everywhere. Bride I've seen everywhere. Heard mixed reviews. What else have I seen? Not a lot. Casey McQuiston is a big name in romance. Ali Hazelwood, another big name in romance. Shocker, not read any of those. Is this interesting to watch? I don't know, let me know. But let's see Romantasy. You can, I think I would love to see if I can branch out maybe next year and see if I can tick off these books, or maybe I will try one of these genres at some point. Not right now when it's so open, but maybe when they narrow it down for the finalists, maybe we'll give a specific genre a try. If you're interested in seeing that, let me know in the comments down below which one of these genres that I am looking at that you would be interested in seeing me do a reading vlog for. And you can be kind or you can be harsh, and you can choose romance. I would say Romantasy would be like the nicest probably, but anyways, When the Moon Hatched I have seen, I have tried. I had to DNF it because I stopped my Kindle Unlimited, I think, but it is also on Prime Reading, so I'm interested in giving that a go. Zodiac Academy, okay. Veiled Kingdom, I have not heard great things about that, so I'm not sure how good that is. Feybound I actually have on my shelf somewhere. I do own it though, so maybe I'll give that a try. Fate Inked in Blood, that's pretty cool. Quicksilver, I know of that because it was an indie and I know it's been picked up traditionally, so it seems to have been like pulled out of non-existence and then hyped up incredibly so. I do love when the community comes together and just pulls out an indie book and backs it, and then it manages to get backed. I think that's an amazing thing that this community does. House of Flame and Shadow, I have heard no good things about this book, and yet it is on here. I'm not surprised that it is on here because obviously it's a Sarah J Maas book, everyone's reading SJM. I have all of her books on my shelf. Did I buy A House of Flame and Shadow? Yes. However, it is the only series of hers that I've actually read every single book of up until this point. I have read the first and second book. I have got 3 books left of Throne of Glass. I have got 4 books left in ACOTAR. I am very far behind, so we'll see how that goes. So yeah, there's quite a few names on there that I recognise. But now we're into my genre. Now we're going to go into fantasy, and we're going to see if anything we read is actually on there so we can vote. The Foxwife, no idea. The Familiar, I have on my shelf. Haven't read. 5 Broken Blades, not heard the best things about that book, but I am intrigued, so maybe if it gets through to finals I'll give it a try. Voyage of the Damned, have it on my shelves, have not read it. Song to Drown Rivers, I don't think I own that. Emily Wilde's Map of Other Lands, no, I did not enjoy the first book. I didn't even finish it. I think I sent it to my friend. Maybe unpopular opinion, but whatever the Emily Wilde book 1 was called, not for me at all. The Blackbird Oracle All Souls, I have started rereading this series because I got to book 2. I did book 1 and book 2 in 2020 and then went no further, and I now own, is it a Times Covenant or Time Covenant, something like that. I own that now. I bought it from 66 Books when I went earlier this year, so I really do want to carry on with this series. Not sure if I'm going to read that, but obviously if I'm carrying on then I probably will, but I haven't read that yet. Warm Hands of Ghosts I've heard of, but I don't know anything about. The Night Ends with Fire, no idea. The Lost Story, no idea. An Academy for Liars I've recently seen, and I am intrigued by that. But it does also feel like it's going to be romancy, and I'm not sure if I'm going to be the romancy person. I don't know. The Bright Sword, know nothing of. Empire of the Damned, started, have not finished. Loving it though, it's really good. Somewhere Beyond the Sea, have not read, but that is the sequel to The House in the Cerulean Sea, which I have read. Book of Doors, nope. When Among Crows, nope. Sweet Sting of Salt, no. I think this is not good for me. I have not read any of these books. The Tainted Cup, I have heard good things about actually, so I am intrigued to give that one a go. I don't know when I will, but I'm intrigued. Dead Cat Tale, Assassins, Not a Bloody Clue, and A Sorceress Comes to Call. I can't vote in this section. I've read nothing. I have finished nothing in this series, and that makes me feel terrible. But apparently I'm not reading a lot of 2024 releases, but also a lot of these 2024 releases, I'm just not on my radar. They're really not. Right, okay. Science fiction. Have I read anything from there? Probably not. I have no idea what these are. Is there anything on this list that I've actually read or heard of? Oh, The Mercy of Gods, of course, by James S.A. Corey. Of course that's on this list. I haven't read it, but I have it on my radar. Does that count? Probably not. But I know of it. Oh no. That's not the one I've read. I read the other one. I do have Service Model on my shelves though. I have not read it. I've not read any of these books. This is awful. I think this is my worst good years in a very long time. I feel like every other year there's been so many other like hyped books that you can just guarantee were going to be on this list. And none of the books that I would have guaranteed were going to be on this list are on this list. I'm not sure why. I don't even know why I'm looking at horror. I don't read horror books. I try. I have a, what's her name on my shelf? I can't even think. Christina Henry. I have Christina Henry on my shelf. Whether you class her as a horror writer or not is up to you, but you know, I have heard of none of these. This is basically just going to be one big fail, isn't it, really? Yes, yes it is. None of those. Reader's favourite debut. Maybe we'll know something on here. Maybe. Probably not. It's not looking good, guys. It's not looking good. A Voyage of the Damned is the only one on here that I have got on my shelves that I have heard of. Favourite audiobook, that's new. Since when do we have a section called favourite audiobook? I feel as though that the sections have changed so much since I started doing Goodreads. I think I started Goodreads in what, 2017? Maybe 2018? I don't know. I was never one of those people who really ever dropped out of reading. I have just massively changed my taste. I went through a phase when I was in college and uni where I was loving like real life books, as in like the Jodi Picots of the world, where they're telling real life stories that are very heart-wrenching. And I feel like I went through a massive fantasy slump until I hit the time that I started looking at Goodreads again, and my phone has just turned off, so I'm not sure how that's going to work. I might need to restart my screen recording because it stopped. Let's start again, and hopefully I've got the other one. I don't know if I do. We'll see. Oh yes I do. Okay, good. Just checking. Technical glitch, but we're gonna start again with where we are. And yeah, so we're here again. It's fine. Favourite audiobook? This was not a thing last year, I swear. Where did we pick audiobook from? Like, how do they know that? Favourite YA? Reckless, I've heard of. Defiant, I have on my shelf. Still not got past book 2. Where the Library Hides, which is the second book to the Secrets of the Nile. I have Secrets of the Nile on my shelf. Haven't read it. Darkness Within Us. I've spoken about that book recently because I've said that if I read it and I'm not fussed on it, then I'm gonna get rid of that and the book before, because I'm never gonna reread the other one. So maybe there's that. Heartless Hunter, which is Crimson Moth. Is that really what that's called? I thought it was just called The Crimson Moth. Maybe it's different in different countries. I don't know. I have that on my shelves. Ruthless Vows, which is book 2 in the Letters of Enchantment. I have the first book on my shelf. Not sure if I'm fussed on it. Air I have on my shelf. It's a very pretty edition, actually. I do want to give that a go. When will I? I don't know, but yeah. With Jade and Dragons, I have that on my shelf. This is not looking good. I think this is probably my biggest flop. My biggest flop. I've heard of none of these. I just pressed next one and it didn't like. Right, okay. Reader's favourite YA fiction. Death at Morning House by Maureen Johnson. I want to read that. I like her writing. I think it's very good. There's a new Jennifer Lynn Barnes book. Dungeons and Drama. That does not sound for me, but I like the title. The Reappearance of Rachel Price. I was meant to read that, actually. I have that somewhere close by to hand. Haven't read it. Anyways, yeah, I feel like this is just like a really big flop, but again, none of these are like things that I really feel like I've seen a lot of hype for. I feel like I've seen hype for a few of these things, but not a lot of these things. Favourite non-fiction? I do not read non-fiction. I very occasionally read an autobiography or a biography. And even that's few and far between. Reader's favourite memoir. Who have we got this year? Nothing that I am aware of. Oh dear Lord. I don't even... RuPaul. I love RuPaul. He's great. Whoopi Goldberg. Kelly Bishop. Oh, the third Gilmore Girl. That is actually one I want to read. I love Gilmore Girls. I don't know if anyone else who watches me does. I know there's a whole big fan thing. I know I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one. But if you enjoy Gilmore Girls as well, we should talk, because I love Gilmore Girls and I'm currently in a rewatch phase. Favourite history and biography. Won't have read any of this. I can guarantee you that, because I have not read any non-fiction this year. I'm not sad about it. I feel like I should read more non-fiction, but I just don't. And that's literally the end. Okay, so I cannot vote. I'm not going to vote. I'm just not. I'm not going to vote for this year's Goodreads Awards unless something drastically changes and I pick something else. Other books that I thought might have been mentioned, I don't know if it's come out within the timeline. Like, I know there's a deadline for Goodreads. I know it's like between a certain time point that you have to have your book released by a certain date to be considered. But I feel like the books that I've seen a lot of hype about, which I feel like I would love to see them in this, but maybe they'll be in next year's. Blood Over Brighthaven by M.L. Wang. Maybe that got released after. The Fury of the Gods as well, I thought would be on there. I know it's the final book in a series, but it's the final book in a series. So I felt like that might have more. But again, they were both released recently. So maybe they were released after the cut-off point. I don't know. What other books have come out this year? I'm surprised that the other Adrian book didn't get put on there. What was it called that I've actually read? Alien Clay. I'm surprised that that one didn't make the list. I feel like I've seen a lot more people talk about Alien Clay than Service Model, but obviously not. The statistics are very different. And was The Will of the Many released this year? Was it? I don't know. I feel like that's had so much love recently, and I'm gonna have to check, because I have seen everybody reading that book and everybody loving that book. So why is it not there? When did this come out? Oh, it came out May last year. That will be why. That will be why. That's sad. The Ending Fire by Sarah El Arifi, that didn't make an appearance. Maybe people didn't. But then again, I haven't seen a lot of people actually talking about that series as a whole anyways, so that would make sense. The Trials of Empire came out this year. Third and final book, Mr. Richard Swan. I'm surprised that didn't make it on the list. I feel like everyone's discovering that series and loving it. Such Charming Liars as well by Karen M. McManus. She has like a really big following, I feel like. When she gets a book released, a lot of people read her books. I am one of them. I have not read her book this year, but I am not the basis of which Goodreads bases their their things off of. But yeah, very strange. I feel like some books on there make sense. Empire of the Damned really makes sense. I feel like I've seen a lot about that. I don't feel as though I saw a lot of hype around TJ Klune's newest book, but obviously a lot of people were invested from the first book. I know he's probably an author by author for a lot of people, so maybe that's why as well. I don't know. Either way, I am ashamed a little bit that I have not read any of the Goodreads Choice Award people. Maybe we will change that. Maybe we will do something about that, because in all honesty, it kind of needs to happen. It really kind of does. I don't know. There's a few books on that list that I would like to read. Like I said, Emperor of the Damned, I'd love to finish. I'm not really interested in any of the Romantasy books at all. Did any... Oh, I need to check this. Did that next thingy book, Fourth Wing book, did that come out this year? Because I'm surprised that's not on there, because the amount of hype I've seen for people talking about Onyx Storm is crazy. Absolutely crazy. November 23. Maybe it just missed out for the timeline. Do we have the specifics of that challenge? Because I feel like I need a little bit more information. Okay, so the eligibility for the Goodreads Awards, in case anyone was wondering, because I definitely am, would have been, for this year, released between November 16th, 2023 to November 12th this year. Okay, and then books published between November 13th this year and November 11th next year will be eligible for next year. Okay. I don't know, like I said, there's a few books on there that I thought I was missing, but maybe they wouldn't have missed the cut-off point, because the 12th was yesterday and those books came out before, but I'm surprised that they weren't on there, and I'm kind of sad that they didn't make it. But anyways, that is everything for this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please give it a like if you enjoyed this really random reaction video. Let me know down below how many books you read out of the Goodreads challenge. If you've read any at all, well done you. If you haven't, also well done you. Maybe you've read other things. If you want to leave me an emoji, leave me any trophy emojis. And if you want to see more of me, please consider subscribing down below and ring that notification bell to get notified every single time I upload new videos, whenever that shall happen. But otherwise, that is everything for today's video. I hope you're having an amazing day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!